Welcome back to the Dylan Shea channel. Today we are doing a game week 8 reaction, and roundup of things that happened this week. Usually, if you've watched this before, you know I usually do about 5 games. I watch all the games on telly. This week, I couldn't really be asked to watch Wolves vs West Ham. I mean, it was a shit game, innit? It's very shit. So this week, I've only got 3 for you. I've got Tottenham, Arsenal, the North London derby. I've got the Manchester derby, and I chose 1:03 p.m. game, which was Chelsea versus Crystal Palace. And then we discussed just some of the other games as well, but a bit more briefly towards the end. And then I give you my player of the round and my goal of the round. Let's start with Arsenal versus Tottenham. Of course, this BT Sport, by the way, come on, really? 12:30 game. Just warning you, I'm a Spurs fan, right? So biasness incoming. In all seriousness, let's start with Arsenal. I think the biggest compliment you can give Arsenal is that I struggled to pick a man of the match, and they were full of Arsenal players, no Spurs players, unfortunately. I chose Thomas Partey because I just thought he ran the game, to be honest. He was everywhere. Made 4 key passes and had a pass accuracy of 95%. He was unbelievable in that game, to be honest. He's been unbelievable this season. Should he be playing? Probably not. The other players that I thought were brilliant for Arsenal were Jesus. I thought he was fantastic. He's been so good, Jesus, this season. And when we would go on the attack, Arsenal would counter us, and he was the one who would usually start that counter-attack by, doing a piece of skill or nutmegging someone, basically. Thought Saliba was incredible again for Arsenal. He's definitely, for me, been the best centre-back in the Premier League this season. Just so calm, composed, quick. And there were twice yesterday. I don't know if you've seen the nutmeg he did on skip, which was disgusting. And then there was a moment where we was pressing them 2-on-1, Son and Richarlison, and Saliba just turned them both. The guy's a joke. And I just feel like he's changed the mentality of Arsenal. I think when you have a centre-back that's like that, it just gives the team so much confidence and gives them a better mentality all round. If we look at the first goal for Arsenal, it sort of comes from Spurs being really deep. To be honest, I didn't mind this goal. You just can't do anything about it, can you? Do I like the fact that we've got 10 men in the box? No. Should one of our players probably be closing Partey down quicker? Yes. And should we be that deep? No. But you don't expect him to score from there. It's an outrageous shot. And Thomas Partey has misplaced so many shots in the past. And against Spurs, just rifles it in the top corner. Thanks, Thomas. The other goals, of course, were mistakes, really, from Spurs. I think the third goal was quite good. But the second goal, of course, comes from a Hugo Lloris howler. You know, a keeper who's been so crucial for us in the past, 10 years. Mainly in the last 2 years, I would say. We've been really reliant on him at times, but this was a howler. I mean, you've got to just catch it. Just catch it. What I would say, though, is I've got a screenshot for you just before this goal, just before Saka shoots, right? There's no way that should be going in. Even though Hugo Lloris spills it, you can see that he should obviously catch it, but we've got 10 men in the box and we're conceding a shot like that. I mean, it's just poor. It's just really, really poor from us. If I was to give Arsenal another compliment, which I'm sick of doing this season, I would say they're the best pressers in the Premier League. It used to be Liverpool. They're not. We'll get onto them in a little bit, but let's just say it's not them anymore. It's definitely Arsenal. I mean, the way they press in numbers, and they've such a young team, and the average age of the Arsenal team was 25. One of the youngest in the Prem, might be the youngest actually. I just thought they were fantastic. The way they press is quite scary. Luckily, we're quite good at breaking the press, Spurs, but most teams are going to really crumble under that Arsenal pressure this season, and most have. A player who I wasn't impressed with was Gabriel. I thought he struggled. I thought he was Arsenal's worst player. There was a moment where Harry Kane was in, and he was sort of outpacing Gabriel by quite a lot, which Harry Kane doesn't usually do. So, really poor game from him, I thought. Big result from Mikel Arteta, won 7 out of 8 this season. Really impressive start. And title challengers, in my opinion. Going on to Spurs. Now, I mean, I don't know where to start, to be honest, because we always lose at the Emirates, right? We always lose at the Emirates. And we could be on the best form ever, and would I think we're going to win there? No. So this game to me isn't big in terms of the results. I think Arsenal most of the time would win this game, well, like they usually do, right? But it's the performance of Arsenal that's impressive. And why I think they are title challengers is the performance. But if you look at our performance, if you look at how we played so deep, right? But considering we were so deep, I thought we were quite impressive how we counter-attacked. There was about 4 or 5 chances, I would say, in that first half where we could have been in one-on-one with the goalkeeper. I think it's a different game. I honestly think if we had Son from last season, we might win that game or draw. This is why it's so frustrating, because we can be so good. We are a very good team. There were moments yesterday where you've seen it. I thought Harry Kane was absolutely brilliant yesterday. It's not yesterday, it was 2 days ago. Don't know why I keep saying yesterday. The way he held the ball up, the way he did little flicks, Son, there was a pass to Romero, he played so well. So if, we can get those chances, we just lacked a bit of end product against Arsenal, which is something we usually don't do. It is lack end product. But if we could just play further up the pitch and use those quick combinations like, we were against Arsenal at times. Like last season, towards the end of last season, the last 10 games, I think we were the best team in the Premier League. I honestly do. And that is biased, probably most definitely. But we were really, really strong. And this season, we're just playing too deep. I would say, I think, usually in a North London derby, I'm really scared. My heart rate is beating really quick for 90 minutes, basically. What I would say about this one is I was quite calm because we were defending well. It was 1-1, and we just threw the game away. We were having chances. We looked decent at times, and we just threw it away. With the Lloris mistake, and then the red card from Emerson Royale, which is definitely a red card, and it's just so frustrating. If I know I sound a bit biased in this. If we carry on like we are, and Arsenal carry on like they are, I think they'll get a lot more points than us this season, because you can't play like we are, as deep as we are, and get results often. I just don't think it works across a full season. I don't. Very frustrating, but well done, Arsenal. Let's go on to the next game, and it's Crystal Palace versus Chelsea at Selhurst Park. My man of the match for this game was Reece James. I thought he pocketed Zaha. I thought he was excellent. It really used his strength and pace at times to just stop Wilfried Zaha's effectiveness, which is a really tough thing to do. If you're a Palace fan, it was probably the most triggering game of all time. I mean, you had let's get onto it, the Thiago Silva handball, which was definitely a red card. I mean, it's every week VAR has just got something which just got definitely wrong. And every week we're just seeing VAR do something stupid. Why are you not getting involved? First of all, it's terrible refereeing. Right, it's awful refereeing because you can see straight away it's a handball. He stops the play with his hand, right? And then the fact that VAR, another look at it, I don't see it as a red card is mind-blowing. I mean, he has to get sent off there. But that's probably 3 points you've robbed off Crystal Palace. I mean, these refs are just having too much of an influence on results. And, Thiago Silva sets up Aubameyang, who played well, and it was a lovely finish from him, to be honest. It was a very lovely just positioned finish. It's a very Aubameyang goal as well, I would say. Yeah, he is a very, very good player. I do rate him when he's on it. Let's go on to Palace's formation. It was a 4-3-3, but they played a really attacking lineup. Played Michael Olise and Eze as basically 10s in there, with Decore in the middle. It was good at times. I thought Palace were okay. I think the goal was very good. Jordan Ayew, of course, someone who's probably overperforming at this moment in time, doing very well for Palace, and a great finish from Edouard as well. I still want more from Edouard, personally. I think you can see this quality, but I don't think he's consistent enough with it. And yeah, I think Palace on a different day could have easily drew that if Conor Gallagher didn't come on and score a great goal. But that goal was coming. Chelsea were good. And if I could give one criticism to Patrick Vieira, which I don't think there's many, because I think he's done a fantastic job at Palace, is he just makes really defensive substitutions all the time. And it's really holding Palace back because they've conceded so many late goals. I think Palace fans are really fed up of conceding late goals, to be honest. He just changes it he just changes his whole philosophy to like a 10 at the back for the last 20 minutes. You know, things like this are reasons I think football is scripted sometimes. I mean, when Conor Gallagher came on, you just knew it was a goal. He was always going to score. And he ended up scoring, well, one of the best goals of the weekend. One of the best goals of the season. I thought Chelsea were good though. I think you can really see the influence of Graham Potter already. I think they were lacking creativity at times, but that's Chelsea for you. I think as time goes on, I think they'll get better, but I was really impressed. They just kept winning the ball back all the time and recycling it and going again. I thought Chelsea were very good. Crystal Palace are 17th in the table, but I wouldn't worry if I was a Palace fan. I would say your season starts on the weekend. You've now got, about 7 games of very winnable fixtures. Let's go on to the second biggest game of the weekend because it was the North London derby. First things first, Man City are ridiculous. We all know this. We all know they're going to win the Premier League. I've said Arsenal are title challengers, but title challengers just means that you're sort of close-ish by, 10 points maybe. Man City are ridiculous, man. I want to start talking about Phil Foden actually, because I think Haaland will get all the, plaudits, but for me, Phil Foden was magnificent yesterday. A player I've actually criticised a lot. I think he gets a lot just on a plate for him. I don't mean goals. I just mean he gets in the England squad. I think he'd get in there no matter his performances. He's in the City squad. I don't think he's been that good this season. I don't think he was that good last season. But I've never said his talent is overrated. The talent is huge from Phil Foden. There's no doubt about that. He can be one of the best players in the world. And when he performs like that, which is when you need to see that more consistently, that Phil Foden. And I think he can be one of the best in the world in a couple of years. The finish is outrageous. And, I think it's his first Man City hat-trick. And I couldn't believe it was his 50th goal for Man City. That is ridiculous at that age, considering he's not a striker. Talk about Jack Grealish as well. There was a moment in the game, actually, where Gundogan was like, Man City were just passing it round, and Gundogan was like, calm down, everybody calm down, let's just slow it down. And he gives it, and he passes to Jack Grealish, and Jack Grealish just runs about 40 yards with the ball. And I think he gives it to Kevin De Bruyne, and that's where Kevin De Bruyne does that joke of an assist to Haaland. Yeah, Jack Grealish was good. I love watching Jack Grealish when he plays like that. Just one of the most entertaining players to watch when he's on it, when he has the freedom to do what he wants. Should we talk about him? Let's talk about him. Let's talk about Erling Haaland. Man, what is this guy? I said on I think it was on the game week 1 where he scored 2 goals against West Ham. I said, I think he's going to be one of the best strikers ever. I said it on his first game at Dortmund because he has a movement, he has power, he has pace, strength, clinicalness. He's a joke. He's an absolute joke. That finish for the De Bruyne pass, the sort of that really beautiful one he plays in behind, I would say that finish is a difficulty rating 8 out of 10, and he made it look so easy. The guy he's inevitable, really. 13 goals in 8 games. Saw a stat the other day, it was ridiculous. It's quickest 3 hat-tricks, right? Haaland, it took 8 games. The next player, the quickest player, was 48. 48. It's a 40 difference. It's honestly like he's playing amateur on FIFA. That is what it's like watching, because it's just so easy for him. He's so much quicker than everyone else, stronger, just better than everyone else, basically. He's Man City, man. They won the league. Let's go on to Man United, who first thing I'll say about Man United is Casemiro, start him. He's one of the best CDMs in the world. You've bought him in for games like this, and you just play McTominay. It's so stupid. I don't care if he's not the fittest. A 60% Casemiro is better than a McTominay. Play Casemiro. It annoys me when managers overcomplicate things. It's just play your best players. Casemiro is better than McTominay. Play Casemiro. I don't hate the Eriksen Bruno thing. I think they can play together. But what I will say is, individually, Eriksen was absolutely awful yesterday. I think he has a claim to win Player of the Month. Last year, I thought he was magnificent. But This game, oh my God, he was awful. Played 6 long balls, only 2 of them worked, and he just kept doing it, and it wasn't working. And he kept forcing it. He was like Bruno, but you expect more from Eriksen, in my opinion, just with the quality on the ball. And he was awful. He got dribbled past 3 times. The midfield just got completely bypassed. And, I think it's a massive reason why they conceded 6. He only won 1 of his 5 ground duels, which you expect from Eriksen. He was always like that at Spurs. Very, just didn't really want to get stuck in. I thought the defence was terrible. I know people either go too far with Lisandro Martinez or not enough. I mean, he was bad yesterday, wasn't he? And Varane. Varane was worse, by the way. Varane was terrible. Malacia was okay, I thought. Not good, but okay. And Dallo, I think all 6 goals came from his side. Man Utd still a mile off Man City, but got the 2 goals in the end against Man City's kids, basically. Let's go on to some other games now. Let's go on to Liverpool versus Brighton. Brighton still incredibly impressive, to be honest. Trossard hat-trick, great hat-trick as well. Liverpool, to me, just don't look the same team at all. They used to be pressing monsters. They used to just choke you, basically. You used to go into a game against Liverpool thinking, okay, if we go all out, they'll counter-attack us. But if we sit deep, they'll just press us, win the ball and score. Either way, it's probably going to be 4-0. Now, Liverpool just don't play anywhere near that level. Van Dijk is not the same player. Trent is not the same player as last season. Robertson isn't even in the team. It's Tsimikas. Jordan Henderson's not the same. Fabinho's not been the same. They're playing Carvalho. Play Luis Diaz. Klopp. Mate, he's been your best player this season. You've left him on the bench. Why? Mo Salah has been not the same player for 9 months, 10 months. Firmino, I thought, was great, though. To be fair to him, I thought Firmino was excellent. That goal, by the way. Filth. But yeah, Brighton. So impressed with Brighton. Can't believe how good they've been. And they got Spurs next to a 3rd. Brighton a 4th. I think if they win that, do we start considering them as Champions League challengers? Or Europa League? Because they've been really impressive in every single game so far. And they should have beat Liverpool. And they do it against most teams. They're better than most teams they play. Let's go on to Newcastle. Miguel Almiron, take a bow. Well done. What a goal. They just smashed Fulham. Fulham, you can have a game off. You've been very good so far. You could maybe do with it. Just a little smash. Just to make sure you keep fresh. Make sure you can't take your foot off the gas. It was a red card, stupid challenge from Chalobah. And poor from Fulham, but it'd be interesting to see how they bounce back from this. I think they'll still be okay. I still think they have had a really impressive start to the season. Hammers getting is it their first win of the season? It might be, Scamacca scoring a great goal, actually, really good. Bruno Lage has been sacked yesterday, I think it was. So yeah, deserved so as well. I hate talking about Wolves. I hate watching Wolves. I didn't watch the Wolves-West Ham game, mainly because of Wolves. I hate watching them. Great win for West Ham, now out the relegation zone, which is huge. And on to the last team that I'll talk about is Everton. Really good win for them, to be honest. And they're just unbeaten in 8 games or something. Lampard's doing a fantastic job. I think it's all about the spine of that team and the transfers that they made. You look at Onana, Cody, Tarkowski and Gay. They've been a massive presence for them, literally. I think they've been really impressive. For the player of the round, I've gone with Leandro Trossard. Now, I could have gone with Haaland, yes, or Foden, or Almiron, or Firmino, but I've gone with Trossard to score a hat-trick at Anfield. I know Liverpool are not the same team, but I still consider that extremely impressive. So well done, Leandro. It was a good hat-trick as well. Sent Trent to the cleaners, and it was 3 good finishes. For the goal of the round, this one's quite obvious, I think. Anthony scored a great goal, but it's Miguel Almiron against Fulham. Outrageous volley, by the way. And it's quite funny that 2 Newcastle volleys this season are goal of the seasons so far. I would have St. Maximin's, though, as number 1. I just think the technique on that was ridiculous. Okay, that is it for the Game Week 8 roundup. Looking forward to Game Week 9 in a week. If you have enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like, subscribe if you are new, and thank you for watching.